This is a sermon for Sunday, September 27th. The gospel is Matthew chapter 21, verses 23 to 32. I say this in the name of God, Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. When we hear the story in Matthew of the two sons, we think of obedience, and we either berate ourselves for not doing whatever, or commend ourselves for doing it when we didn't want to, and then pat ourselves in the back because our ancestors aren't Pharisees. But there's another way to look at this gospel, the simple one of looking at how we keep our word and choosing which word we decide to keep. Like the first son in the story from Matthew, we sometimes don't keep our word through having a careless attitude. We say we'll do something and we fail to do it. How often have you experienced having someone promise to repair or take care of something only to find that you have to make numerous phone calls and maybe even threaten some kind of action to get it done? And how often have you received poor service in a store or been told a repair person or an ordered item will arrive and it never appears? We're all like this ourselves to some extent. We're all kind of looking to make others think that we're going to do something and perhaps just never follow through. Sometimes it's a little shocking even when someone does what he or she says they're going to do. I had someone a few months ago tell me that they had put my name down. This was at Easter time, and I was trying to order something from a butcher, and they put my name down for one of the lamb crowns, and I was all excited. I'm like, yay, I'm gonna get it, because there's only so many, and you have to reserve them, and I had it reserved. And I called the store a couple days later to confirm it, and they said, oh no, there's none left. They're all spoken for. I was livid. Like, but I called early. Like, what do you mean? I called early. Like, I reserved one. You were supposed to keep it for me. Well, the information, once we tracked down the person I actually spoke to, the butcher, was that, yeah, they were all taken because my name was on the list and all the people on the list were getting one. See, they did exactly what they said they were going to do. I just didn't really believe them. Like the second son, I think we tend to say, no, I can't. Even if we really could, we just don't do it. And I don't know if you are the sort of person who says, no, I can't do that, and then do it anyway. Or say, yeah, I'm going to do it, or fail to do it, or what. But we all know people like that, and we all have been those people. We know we have. From the part of the reading from Philippians asks us to look not to our own interest, but to the interests of others. Over and over again, Jesus has taught us that we're responsible for one another. One of the things I'm always interested in is the idea of those who really believe in conspiracy theories, that there are people in the world who have banded together to enact some nefarious purpose, and that many, many, many people are in on it. If only it were true that human beings were capable of this. If only it were true that human beings were capable of some giant endeavor in which everyone participated and worked towards it. What a glorious world that would be. How amazing would that be? If we could all somehow be part of some big conspiracy to do good. But human beings don't work like that. We can join together in small groups and sometimes even in larger groups. We can try to be examples to one another. We can do the things that we know are right. We know that others watch us, and that every time we choose not to keep our word, no matter how small an occasion, we're teaching others that that's okay. But bottom line, as Jesus said to the chief priests and elders, and probably to anyone else who would listen, is that we can no longer make excuses because of birth or background. You heard it in the first lesson today. God said, Israel, why are my ways unfair? You have a saying that it's visited on the children what the Father has done, but that's not my way. Jesus said, all of you are my people. All of you. Think about that for a minute. All of you are my people. And you are responsible for what you do. Not for what your parents did, not for where you come from, not for how you've been raised. You are responsible for how you are in the world. You know, it's something that I try to talk about in my anti-racism training program. It's not a religious training program. It's not based in any denomination or any religion. We are of all faiths, the people running it. The mentors have a variety of beliefs. But I think there's one thing that we all do agree on. And the thing that we agree on is you are capable of surmounting what you've been taught and how you've behaved and your background and the culture in which you are raised. Now, we also recognize that as white people, we're not capable of being entirely objective. We're not. And my friend Grace would say that's true of all people of color as well, but I don't think it's my lane to speak for people of color, so I speak for white people as far as I know them, being one. We are capable of surmounting the lies and biases we've absorbed through observation, through direct education, through the fact that information's been withheld from us, that we've not been taught a true history of our country, of ourselves as a people. We're capable of surmounting these things. We're capable of surmounting the biases we've been taught from childhood, from babyhood on. We are capable of surmounting those, or at least recognizing that which is in us and doing better, trying to do better. So when people come into our training and they're like the first son and they say, I can't do this, it's too much, I feel helpless. Those who know that it's the right thing keep trying, and we keep trying to help one another to find ways to do the work. And there are many who come to us and say, I want to do the work, I really do, I want to take your training, I'm so interested, and then won't put in the work, won't show up, ghost. Or upon first hearing that some of the things that perhaps they were taught in their life or in their history, in school, was skewed, they say, no, it's just, I'm mad. I'm too mad to keep going. I'm angry. How dare you tell me I have privilege because of my skin color? We don't get that one often anymore. I think more people have recognized this truth, but it still happens occasionally. Or they take exception to, the way one particular lesson is taught or another. They say, well, my friend of color says this, and it's different from what you're saying, not recognizing that there's no monolithic, one source for information or from anti-racism thinking. There's no one source. People of color are not a monolith. There are varieties of opinions. There are varieties of opinions, and there's no plan, there's no guideline you can be handed, there's no one set of rules that somebody's going to give you, say, okay, if you act like this, people of color are going to love you, and you're going to be a great ally. No. It doesn't exist. It is a daily, day-by-day examination of our beliefs of what is right, to dig underneath some of the perceptions and biases and knee-jerk reactions that we have, and to hold fast to a principle that all people are worthy of respect, that all people are worthy of dignity, that all people at a bottom level want the same things: to live undisturbed, to be valued, to be seen as worthy, to be respected. We can do that, even if we think we can't, like the first son. But we can only do it if we actually do it. Unlike the second son who said he would go and work and never did. So I hope that if anything comes from this lesson that we have today, these set of lessons, that one of the things that comes from it is an urging to each of us to set aside excuses, to stop thinking of ways in which we can set aside the work we know we need to do, and to dig into it. It's hard. We can do it together. I wish I could tell you there was some worldwide conspiracy, some worldwide, single source of teaching that we could all read and all do, and we'd all do it the same, and we'd all work towards the same goal, and we'd all have the same goals, and it's just not reality. It's just not. But the goal that I think is worthy of our attention, the goal of respect and value and love for people we've been taught are not worthy of our respect and are not worthy of our love. We as white people have been taught this about people of color. We've been taught it in a million ways. We can get past that. We can keep trying to get past that, and that's the right thing to do. So even if we feel helpless, even if we have a million excuses like the first son, let's go do it. That is the Father's will. In the name of God, Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer.